Graham, really good to see you. Obviously, just a few hours away now from the restart, a few days away for you guys. How is everyone doing? I presume there's a real sort of buzz amongst the group now.
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited. It's been a long time. Seems an age since we last played a Premier League game. So we've all been through the protocols, we've all been through the steps, and now we're ready to play. So looking forward to it. Be interesting to see the games tonight, and then yeah, just back into training tomorrow and prepare for the game.
And is there any sort of early team news, any injury news ahead of Saturday?
No, everybody's fit. Got a full squad to choose from, so really been really positive. Delighted with how the players have worked during this period. The professionalism has been amazing. They worked through lockdown in the small, in their Zoom sessions and individually, and they've come back in a good way, and they're ready.
And obviously, you've had some friendlies at the Amex, no fans, which is going to be the new normal. What's that been like, and how much sort of getting used to do you think it will take?
Yeah, I think it's strange, of course. We all want to be playing football in front of supporters. That's the whole point of it, to a certain extent. It's about that interaction with the fans and that environment that certainly the Premier League is known for. But at the same time, we know why we have to do this. We know the situation and we accept it, and then we have to adapt. It's totally different because there's 30,000 less people, but we have to just focus on the game, the football, what we can control, and do our best to adapt to the situation, and then look forward to the games because there's a lot at stake. Premier League matches, so we're excited and we're looking forward to it.
And Arsenal up first on Saturday. Is it a positive in a way that they are playing tonight so that you can watch and see, I suppose, how this break has affected them?
Well, I think you can look at it both ways. You can get a look, but they're playing against Manchester City. Often teams do slightly different things against Manchester City than they would against us. They're into the competition early, which is maybe an advantage. It's a disadvantage because they're having to play quickly, Manchester City and then us. So it boils down to ultimately whatever advantage or disadvantage you have to play well yourself. You have to play the game, control what you can do as best you can. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. It just makes no difference.
And just lastly from me, we know the Premier League will be supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. We'll see some of that on show throughout the rest of the season. What discussions have you had internally with players, and any sort of specific discussions that you can reflect on now?
Yeah, we spoke about how the events have unfolded. We spoke about racism in society, in football. We spoke about how we can maybe do our bit to make a change in that area, to educate ourselves, to learn more, to understand more, to be able to empathise more. I think it's often a difficult subject, certainly for myself to speak about. I'm a 45-year-old white guy that hasn't really experienced racism in terms of had it to me. So I'm very privileged and I'm very fortunate in that regard. But I think the more that we can educate ourselves, the more that we can understand from a historical context where racism is and where it's come from, the better we can be as a society and better we can be in the football world as well.
Thanks, Graham.
Cheers.
Adam, if you want to go next.
Hi, Graham, you okay?
Hi, Adam.
Nice to see you.
And you.
Just on the squad thing, you say you've got a fully fit squad. How much of a big, important role has squad rotation got in these remaining 9 games because of the proximity of the matches?
Yeah, well, it's 5 weeks, 9 Premier League matches from a long layoff. So the realities of playing 11 players for every single minute for every game is going to be quite difficult, just for lots of reasons. So we're fortunate that we've got a fully fit squad. We've got a good squad, players that want to play. So the challenge for them is to be ready. whether it's the start, whether it's the last 20 minutes, the last 30 minutes, whatever the role is, I'm pretty sure we'll use a lot of players because the competition will mean we'll have to.
Have you got Izquierdo back and ready to start a match?
No, he's the only one. So he's the long-standing one that's not available. Everybody else, apart from Jose, is available.
What are you looking for from the players in these remaining 9 matches? Because there's a big job, isn't there, in avoiding relegation?
Yeah, there is. But we know that. We know the responsibility. We know the challenge. Premier League games are so tough. We have to play well. We have to fight. We have to do our best. We have to focus on the things that we can control. We have to just play football as well as we can. And I think if we can do that, then we can get the job done. But we know it's a big challenge and a big fight ahead of us.
And just in your opinion, how much of a difference will having no fans in the stadium make? We know what sort of atmosphere the Amex can create. What sort of difference will it be not having those fans there?
Well, in terms of the environment, it's completely different. It's you can't even say chalk and cheese, can you? It's even further away than that because, like you say, 30,000 people getting behind the team is a noise, is an atmosphere that won't be there. It's as simple as that. Home advantage, of course. Yeah, I think everybody'd say that you'd rather play Liverpool without the Kop than you would. You'd rather play them without the Kop than with the Kop. You know, that's just generally because that's how big supporters are and how much they play a part in the game. But like I say, we know why that is. We know that that's not going to be an excuse for us. It's not going to be a reason for anything for us. We have to adapt to it. We know the circumstances. We know what we've been through as a country, as a sport. We have to play with no supporters. But it's who knows how it will go. I think you probably lose a bit of the home advantage, but that's even caveated with if the home supporters are actually, really behind you and really, really with you. Sometimes you can play at home and it can be nervy and it can be tense. So that can maybe not help. So again, it's lots of variables. For me, I don't necessarily worry about it too much. We know that we're going to have to play with no supporters and we're going on with it.
Just finally, Graham, going back to, when was it, November, when you won at Arsenal, arguably your greatest moment so far as the Brighton manager. What will you take from that game going into this game on Saturday?
Well, that we can win football matches in the Premier League. I think a lot's changed at Arsenal since then. So I expect, and I know that it'll be improved. And Mikel has done a really good job in making them stronger. But nevertheless, we know that if we play well ourselves and we fight and we do all the things we need to do, then we're capable of winning football matches in the Premier League, and that's what we need to do.
Thanks, Graham. All the best.
And you. Cheers.
Johnny, if you want to go next.
Yeah, hi Graham. Hope you're well. You mentioned Arsenal there. Tonight, Mikel Arteta goes up against Pep Guardiola. Used to be his number 2. Do you see similarities between what Arteta's managed to do there and the impression he's trying to have on this Arsenal side?
Similarities, I guess, yeah. But I think they're both their own men. I think Mikel's a top coach, a top football person in his own right. Of course, he's benefited from working with Pep, and they both have had fantastic success. Played against them a couple of times, and appreciate exactly what they've done. It's amazing job they did together, and now Mikel's done a great job. You can see how he's changing what Arsenal are doing. Really good structure. A lot of the sort of principles that Manchester City had, they're there, but of course the players are different. There's a different context for him to work in, but he's doing a good job.
In terms of the fact that there won't be any fans in the stadium, does that change your potential instructions to the team just before kickoff? Or are you allowing the players to maybe take a different role, anything a little bit different they might plan to G themselves up literally minutes before kickoff?
No, nothing really. I mean, we'll think about it over the next couple of days. I think it's so hard to try to get the same feeling that you have when there's 30,000 people there. I think it's about focusing on the job, I think before the game starts, there's that adrenaline, that will to do well, that will to win comes in, and naturally competitive people. So we know what's at stake. We know the importance of the games. We know how much we've wanted to play for so long. So I think while there's not the atmosphere, there's not the fans, there's the internal drive, if you like, and our collective desire to do well. I think that's going to be what we'll have to pull towards and use.
And just finally from me, a couple of players who sort of came into the squad but haven't really had much of a chance. Alexis McAllister, how's he feeling ahead of potentially a start or more contributions? But also Tariq Lamptey, how's he been getting on from Chelsea?
Yeah, both of. Alexis had a disappointing, if you like, time here because came in the middle of the 100-day rain. Weather was completely different, and he's adapting to the climate, adapting to the country, but he's been really, really good, really professional. Probably frustrated with the lockdown because it's a chance to play football, but he's been brilliant. His attitude's been great. He's fighting to play, and I'm sure we'll use him over the next 9 matches. Same with Tariq. Again, young player, adapting to us, adapting to how to compete in the Premier League. But he's got attributes that I'm pretty sure we can, again, use over the next 9 matches.
Brilliant. Thanks, Graham.
Cheers.
And Ian Abraham's next for TalkSport.
Hi, Graham. Can you hear me?
I can.
How are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm very well. Yourself?
I'm not too bad. How excited are you about the return to action? I mean, you've had some players that have tested positive for coronavirus and come through it all. How excited are you actually inside? Is it like the start of a new season?
I'm very excited. It's like I said, it seems like it's been ages since we played. You can't beat the buzz of the game, the competition. That's what we're all here for. We know that we have to train in small groups. We know that we have to do Zoom training sessions and individual sessions. And the guys have been running around Hove Park or around the seafront. But now we've been training. We're ready. We've been playing training matches and in contact training. But now we just need the competition. And I think it's great that the Premier League's starting up again, and we're really looking forward to it.
Do all the players feel the same? Because some other clubs have been muted, that some players weren't at the beginning that keen on coming back to training, and some other clubs players that are out of contract don't want to play in case they get injured. And all your players are absolutely 100% happy to be back playing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been nothing, nothing to say that they're nothing but keen to play and want to get on with it and ready to go. So it's been really good from the start since we've been back, since we've been allowed in with the small training. The guys have been enthusiastic. They've trained as well as we've trained all year. The enthusiasm, professionalism, attitude has been really, really good. So we're in a good place, but it doesn't. We want to wait for the games, and we want to play the games, and then we know where we're at. But the mood's really positive.
You're the man to beat Arsenal. I've seen the last 2 wins there with Osterson's and obviously back in December. So should Mikel Arteta really be fearing you?
Well, I don't think Mikel will be fearing us. No, I think I'm sure there'll be a bit of respect there, as there is for me. It's a football game. Unfortunately, you don't get anything in the Premier League for what happened 3 months ago or 12 months ago. You have to start again from the start of the game, and you have to play well. You have to have a bit of luck. You have to do a lot of things right to beat a team that is, I think it's really improved under Mikel. I think he's done a great job. They've got some really, really good players. So it's a tough game, but if you can tell me a game in the Premier League that isn't difficult, then maybe we'll play that one instead.
Just 2 more from me. First of all, lack of fans people are saying that some players might really relish this because they get, if they misplace a pass and the stadium is full, they can hear every groan. You know, this way it's like going back to when they were kids playing on the park. Do you understand that philosophy? And have you seen in training some of your players that are actually, you think, are going to be better than if the stadium was full?
Yeah, I think I might have liked to have played without any supporters because they were quite quick to have a go at me when I was playing. So that would have been maybe I'd have extended my career for a couple of years. I think it depends on the individual. I think it depends on, it depends on them. I think most players, in fact, the majority of players, jokes aside, would want to play with supporters. It's the adrenaline, the buzz, the challenge, the feeling of if you are getting a bit of stick, overcoming it, battling it out, shutting it out of your brain, focusing on the game is all the challenge of football. And I think it's what ultimately is the privilege of playing professional football. You're playing in front of paid people live. Mistakes happen. You get criticism. The game looks incredibly easy when you're sat up where you are. And yeah, on the pitch you have to make all those decisions all the time, and it's really, really tough. But that's professional sport, and I think most, if not all, would prefer to play football with a crowd.
And the last one is probably an obvious answer, actually, but you're in a relegation battle. But how much is a little bit less pressure on you right now going into Saturday? The fact that you start off with the advantage of being outside of bottom three compared to those who are in it.
Well, you can feel safe with the league table and you can feel under pressure with the league table. But ultimately, if you don't win your football matches, there's 9 games to play, which is 27 points, which is a lot of football to be played. So our focus is just on the next match. We just focus on Arsenal. Don't worry about the league table or don't worry about anybody else. Just focus on the game, focus on what we need to do and do our best.